Welcome to Cosmic Comics, Games and Collectibles, your zen of geekism. We carry comics old and new, magazines, toys, games like Pokemon, Magic, D&D. Want Godzilla, Ultraman, Star Trek, Ninja Turtles, Funko Pops? You'll find it all here. Shop our Cosmic Sound Room and pick up a record or two. Enjoy our Comic Coffee Lounge with a cup of Sasquatch coffee or a delicious menu item while geeking out over a super cool movie on our big screen. Come by and say hello to Maui. Cosmic Comic, Games and Collectibles. Superman loves us, and so will you.
And good evening, everybody. I am RJ Carter, Senior Managing Editor here at CriticalBlast.com. And tonight, we're looking at something a little peculiar here. I'm going to have to get to the bottom of this. We have two books that are written by Mr. Mike Barron, who is not here. So don't get excited. Mike comes here a lot, I know that, but he's not here tonight. He's somewhere else. Don't go looking for him. Stay here. This is where the book is. Okay? Just because I said he's somewhere else. We do have, however, somebody who can talk about these books, and the books are Smokes the Fox and Weaponized Werewolf. And joining us is the head honcho over at Belmont Press, Justin Belmont. Justin, welcome to the show, sir.
How you doing, RJ?
You know what? I'm getting more and more of a bruise.
Oh God!
Look at that! Look at that! That was not that way last night when I got home. But
what happened?
Well, we got they got a new lady at the plasma center who didn't quite know how to put a needle in. So fortunately, she did better on my right arm. But wow, I'm like, well, I got to wait a week to do this anymore, don't I now? it's
Oh God!
It doesn't hurt. Well, actually, I take that back. It does. If I stretch my arm out, it's like, oh yeah, there's pain there. It's just a bruise. It'll go away. They give me this whole, ice pack and list of instructions on how to take care of a hematoma. I'm like, it's a bruise, right? She's like, well, yeah. I'm like, I've had bruises before. I've lived a life. I have had my skin turn black and blue for a number of reasons. Best treatment is leave it alone and go on with your life. So that's my plan. And I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to read comics. Got some comics in today. Got the Christmas issue of Jim Balance Witch of the Black Rose, and got a print with that. I've got that all framed up. It's going to look real nice on the wall somewhere here, which I'm rapidly running out of, by the way. I don't know. Do you collect prints, Justin? Any artwork?
Prints, not so much, but I do collect the original art.
Do you hang it up, or do you keep a portfolio of it?
I have only a few pieces hung up. I have some Jim Lee and some Jay Lee on the wall, and My best piece I own though is a Byrne Hogarth Tarzan Sunday Grail, just sitting right there on my wall.
Yeah, that will never come down. I use the Velcro tab so I can I can take them off and put them back up real easily. If I wanted to switch something out, I guess. But I've got nothing that I want to cover up and put new art in front of yet. I just, if I run out of wall space, I just need to build more walls. I was told I can do that. And board up the window. There's a good 6x10 area that I could take up with prints.
I keep mine in drawers, usually in those top loaders, those 11x17 top loaders.
Yes, the real thick ones too, not like the floppy, not like a Mylar bag, but like a real stiff.
Now they're like $10 a pop at the conventions.
Yeah, they're and anywhere else you buy them. Because I bought some for our very first shipping project we did was for Nina D. Aberline. I keep saying yeah, it's Aberline. I got it right that time, and I started to correct myself. Anyway, got some for her prints because I wanted to keep them nice and flat, and we sent them out in those. They were like, good God, they were a couple of bucks each. I was kind of surprised, but the prices on that, any of the supplies have gone up. If you can get bags and boards at a decent price right now, get them and hoard them. They're like toilet paper during a pandemic.
Yeah, I'm gonna need those for the campaign.
Yeah, we're stocked up right now, but I think we're going to have 3 campaigns arriving at one time. From what it's looking like, everyone I'm talking to, I'm going to have. I know Incontesti is on its way here. I believe that Red Eyes is on its way here, and the Embrace should be here any day, I would imagine, because I know he just got them back from the new printer. So I'm going to go from famine to feast real fast, and have a lot of books to put together and ship out. But let's talk about your book, and I'll bring I'm going to share the page. This is just a sign-up page. So I'm just going to share for a little bit here. But if you have some artwork that you want to share and kind of show it, feel free to throw that up there. Everybody, this is the pre-sign-up page for Smokes the Wolf #1 and Weaponized Werewolf #0. I like that name, Weaponized Werewolf.
It just came to me one day and just popped in my head.
And it's a good time because werewolves are still hot. I don't think they've quite burned out yet.
There's kind of too many of them right now.
there are a lot of them, but people like them.
Mine's a little bit different than everybody else's, I'd say, though.
Okay, so tell us why. Tell us how.
Well, my werewolf doesn't transform when it's the full moon or anything like that. Mine was created in a military facility with DNA from humans and from the wolf. So he doesn't transform. He's always a werewolf.
Well, he's kind of screwed then. He doesn't get to come back. I did think it was kind of interesting when we had the montage during the video that there was this werewolf behind bars. Like if we were hunting down a werewolf, that's exactly what we would do, is arrest him and put him in a cell. Like no, he'd be shot on sight.
All the hybrids are in captivity.
Okay.
And these are just 2 of the hybrids, Smokes and Weaponized Werewolf. His real name is Cheney, but...
Oh, of course it is. It's better than Talbot.
Talbot?
Yeah, well, Larry Talbot was the name of the character that Lon Chaney portrayed when he was the werewolf.
Oh, yeah.
But it reminds me a lot of the 1970s, early 80s weird war tales that they did with a group called the Creature Commandos, where they had basically, it was a monster squad in World War II for the U.S. Army. And one of them was a werewolf that had been created by their scientists. And yes, you're right, Telepathic Bunny. There are a few werewolves. There are tons of them. Yeah, it is sort of like a Van Helsing kind of name. Justin Belmont's a name for a werewolf hunter. Of course,
Castlevania name.
You're too good to throw yourself in as a self-insert though and hunt werewolves. And I can definitely understand, David, why you would have shied away from writing a werewolf story, because yeah, if you start writing one now, you are going to hit the nadir of people's interest in werewolves. I think you're coming in right now, Justin. It's sort of the sort of the peak. It's probably going to go downhill from here.
Well, this
And-
werewolf book is free when you back the campaign. You get both books.
Well, see, now that you buried the lead. A free book is always going to be popular, no matter what the character is, and as long as it's well written. And if you got Mike Barron on task here, then you should have no problem having a well written comic.
Yes, sir. I hope everybody's going to enjoy it. I spent the last 2.5 years of my life slaving over this. So,
Okay, so what goes on in 2.5 years in making a comic? Because this kind of speaks to the how long it takes to actually make a book that people keep talking about. And if somebody says 2.5 years, he should have been able to crank that out in 2 months.
well, first
What's
you
the
need an
deal?
idea, then you need a character, you need character designs, and then after character designs, you need a hell of a lot of money to go forward. You need to hire an artist, and artists don't work cheap.
No.
You need to hire a writer, an editor, redesign your designs over and over again until you get them how you want it. Come up with a storyline, and do all this while how you have a regular life going on and have a wife and a job and things going on.
All those things that prevent you from having fun.
Yes.
So if I understand this correctly, this is your idea, your IP, but you hired the writers and you hired the artists to bring it together?
Yeah, I'm here in Denver. Mike Barron is actually lives in Colorado also, and I've seen him at the shows locally just about every year. And in 2018, I came up to him and I said, "Hey, I got this character. He's a pot smoking fox, but hear me out." And he liked the idea, and he said, "Sure, let's do it." And I got a script from him, and I was happy with it. And I just hired an artist and started getting the work. But
so you basically have two anthropomorphic canines. I don't know, is a fox a canine? I don't know if that is or not, but I always thought they kind of were. But they're very different because one looks like it's more of the funny animal variety, and yet there are real animals behind him. So let's start with Smokes the Fox and find out who he is and what world he's in.
Well, Smokes is in our world. Have you seen that video going around recently where they had the half human, half pig? Did you see that?
No, I
I
would have remembered
the
that.
laboratory. It showed this pig that had his tongue sticking out, looked kind of like a human, like a deformed human. It was really strange. But that's what my story is kind of about. It's about the military working with extraterrestrials underground in a facility that's known as Dulce Base in the real world, in our world. Some people say they exist. People say they have worked there. People say there's aliens working with humans to make these kinds of creatures and experiment with human genetics. So this is where my story is similar to that. So it's similar to reality now that's happening right now.
Yeah, I just looked it up, and it's a human pig hybrid created in the lab, and it's not from it's the National Geographic that's running this story.
Really?
So and it's from February 2018. So I almost said where were the 3 years of outrage and news, but we've kind of been busy. Yeah, it's almost like, hey, we're going to have a human pig hybrid running around wild. What can we do? Well, get everybody to stay in their house. How are we going to do that? Stay inside while we hunt it down. It's susceptible to this virus. Spread it to everybody, and it'll kill it. Yes, if you were listening earlier, the werewolf's name is Cheney. But first, we're going to get on Smokes. So Smokes is in our world.
He's captive.
He's captive. He was, I'm assuming, created. He didn't come over like Howard the Duck from Fox World.
I can't say exactly how he was made, but he's human and fox.
All right. And
But he didn't come from a stork or anything like that. He wasn't dropped from a plane or genetics program using alien technology. That's what I can say.
Okay. So he's the only one of his kind that we are going to know of at first.
He is along as well as the werewolf Cheney or the wolf hybrid.
So I thought that was a separate book, but you're telling me these are in the same world?
Both these characters exist in the same world, and they both go together. You can say the werewolf book is basically the prequel to Smokes 1, but you can actually read either book in any order, and they both it would work the same. I would think.
Okay, because that threw me because the werewolf. This is going to sound stupid, but the werewolf was drawn more realistically. Like I've seen a couple of werewolves out there, and yeah, that's definitely one. Whereas Smokes is drawn more like a gritty Looney Tunes kind of character, not so much a realistic fox, but this more human expressive Walter Lantz kind of creature.
The cover for the werewolf book's a little bit different than the interior. The cover was done by Tim Vigil, who has a realistic style.
Yeah, he does.
And those colors right there are by Kyle Ritter from Cyberfrog.
Good Lord. You got so you got Mike Barron writing it. You've got Tim Vigil doing a cover. Kyle Ritter doing cover. The only person I might not have heard of is Barry McLean.
Barry McLean is a rising artist, a very good artist. He's the one behind Billy the Kit. It's that bunny Western horror comic book. Have you seen that going around?
I have not seen that one go around. A lot of new stuff.
Billy the Kit, Kit.
Okay.
He's actually my neighbor. Out of all, when I hired this guy, I knew he lived in my area, but I found out later on he's actually my neighbor. So it's a real small world, I guess, and everything happens for a reason. He loves horror and books like werewolves and vampires and all that stuff. So he was really excited to do a horror book.
So are they both horror books, or do they have?
They're both. Yeah, you could say they're both horror books, I guess. The werewolf is more than Smokes. Smokes is kind of a sad tale about being captive, but he does escape the facility.
And just like Ralph gets a motorcycle.
Well, I'm sorry, what was that?
And just like Ralph the mouse, he gets a motorcycle.
He's obsessed with the motorcycles, and he had a TV in his cell when he was captive, so he would watch all those shows. What was that show with the motorcycle biker gang? What was that one? That famous one? I can't remember now. There's that biker sitcom. It's about a biker gang.
Whoa! Now I definitely don't know a biker sitcom.
Well, not a sitcom, it was a serious show.
Oh, okay. Sons of Anarchy?
Sons of Anarchy, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, although now we could really use a biker sitcom, so that would be kind of cool. And Cheney also escapes? I mean, the Army security is that lax, or did they all kind of get out in the mass?
No, they didn't. They actually let him out to fetch Smokes.
Oh, okay. And he's pretty.
You can see him chasing him in the trailer.
Right.
Actually, I'm going to give you this link, actually, and you can play this little mini movie. It kind of explains things a little bit.
Okay.
I put it in the private.
Throw it up here, and I'll pause it real quick. No, pause. I said pause. Here we go.
There's no sound with this, so if you want to make your own sound effects or something, you go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was ready to share it and share sound and all that good stuff. So I'll get full screen. Okay.
So it's a little animated film my friend Wendell did for me.
So, escaping confinement is one thing. You just got to go faster than that. Maintaining one's newfound freedom, however. Dum, dum, dum. is another. Oh, there's a snake. Very nice with Glenn's Ride in front cover. Nicely done.
That's the main cover right there. So there's going to actually be 2 covers for Smokes the Fox. And that one you showed earlier, the one that's above that picture right there, the one that's right there, that's the Gerhard
The one taking a leak behind a tree?
Yeah, that's the Gerhard cover. You familiar with Gerhard? From Service?
I know the name. Yeah, okay,
Dave
yeah.
Sims.
Yeah, I've got a Dave Sim print hanging up right over here that he signed.
He's known for drawing animals. He did that cat book. I forgot what it's called, but Absence of the Cat or something like that. Silent of the Cat. But it was never put out. It was supposed to come out in Heavy Metal magazine, but there's some issue with the copyright, I guess, where it might never be published. So that's kind of sad. It was a really, and I just love the way he draws animals. So all those animals in the background are just regular animals. They're not hybrids or anything like that. But all those animals are nocturnal animals from Colorado. So I had him put as many as he can fit in the background in there. So that's what you see. You see the black bear, various birds, and there's a fox in there somewhere. But
yeah, and they wouldn't shy away from him because he's another animal. He's not a human. He's not a man. At least not to their senses. Except he might smell a little manly. He might confuse.
Yeah, but they're checking him out. I'm like, what the fuck is this thing doing?
Yeah,
peeing on a tree.
Yeah, that's real cool looking. For some reason, this is coming right off. Today, I just finished binging all 3 seasons of Zoo, which was all about human and animal hybrids. And I
have to watch that. Where's that? What's that on?
Netflix.
It's called
Netflix. Zoo. And they made 3 seasons of it, and they left it on a cliffhanger. So I do believe it's canceled unless there's a 4th season still to be made that they're planning on doing. Yes, Pops. Any book with Mike Baron's name on it deserves a look.
Yes, it does.
And Telepathic Bunny, if you did miss Marmalade singing Comic Skate Pie, make sure you check that out. It's on this channel. It's on his own playlist. So Marmalade does interviews and he sings songs now.
I missed that.
He's not great at it. He's I don't want it to go to his head. Some people like to listen to him sing, but I'm not one of them. So what kind of a page count are we looking at on both of these books here? I mean, is it like, Smokes is the main book and Weaponized Werewolf is like an ash can addition to it, or are they both
full-length? It's going to be a full-size book, the Weaponized Werewolf, but it's going to be a short one, 16 pages, and then Smokes is going to be 28 pages. But I will have a stretch goal, I believe, to have Weaponized Werewolf increased in size, probably like 4 pages, to make it 20.
And you got Bob Layton doing.
That video you just played a second ago, the animation.
Yeah, that cover.
At the end, it forms the cover, and that cover was drawn by. You can't see it in this.
Don Perlin and Bob Layton.
It's at the very top of this page.
Yeah.
You can see a little bit of it. Above this.
Yeah, right.
It's all faded out because of the
stretching and the yeah.
But
it'll look better when you go live, which is happening when?
I hope to go live early February. I'm just trying to get as many emails as I can before I launch so I can be successful. I have about 40 something emails, and the first about 90 people who sign up and back will get a free metal trading card. And if you scroll down, there's the artwork for the card below. Yeah, that's right there is a piece of it right there, that the werewolf with the sunset or the moon in the background and the.
Okay, and the interconnected stories.
I'm going to show you actually the metal card. I have a video of it so you can actually see what it looks like.
All right. I'll make sure I see it real close. I just sign up. And folks, if you want to sign up for this, the link to the Indiegogo is right below the video, and it's also pinned to the top of the chat. You got 2 shots at it. You can't miss. Mike, yes, it is winter when it's dark during the Critical Blast show, and you're on the West Coast, so imagine how dark it is here up in the mountains where the sun sets even earlier because we don't have quite the horizon line. So let's see. Let's drag this over here. Give it a full screen. And
there's no sound either for this. It's just going to show you.
Yeah. Nice, sharp cornered metal card of Weaponized Werewolf. That can be a weaponized trading card. Metal is becoming a popular add-on to campaigns. I mean, they want metal covers, metal trading cards, metal bookmarks. I don't know, I guess metal has a certain staying power that it's hard to go less than near mint once you print it on steel.
They can be bent, but they're not easy. You'd have to knock it with another piece of metal or really, really want to bend it.
Yeah, you'd have to try. You have to try to mess it up.
I was surprised how strong they were. I thought, when you hear they're made out of aluminum or whatever, you think like a soda can. But I can assure you it's a thick card and they're made really well.
Yeah, I've got a couple of them already. Who do I got? I've got Cobalt. I've got the Cobalt metal card, and I've got the 2 metal cards from Cluster Fudge from Chris and Diana Tmulovich over at Hero Shack. So, like I said, it's something that people have just started doing. I'm waiting for somebody to just go ahead and do the 100% metal comic book. Just put it on like a spiral binder for a spine, and just like it can just be flipped all the way around 360.
My friend said someone already did that.
Oh,
he had a print made of a metal print made of every page of the comic, but he didn't put it like in a binder or anything. It's kind of expensive though. Those metal prints. Yeah,
it would be an expensive book to do 32-page all metal pages, but there's all kinds of innovation being done in comics even now. I mean, we've gone through the phase and gone out of it where it's like, hey, we need a chromium book cover. We've got, look, holograms are on the cover. And you still get those now and then, and they're kind of cool. They were on everything for a while. Remember Robin 3 or Robin 2 when they did those miniseries? I think Robin 2 was the one that had a holofoil.
Tom Lyle? Or was that Robin 3?
I think so. There was a Robin. There was the Robin miniseries that Chuck Dixon did. And then there was a Robin 2 and there was a Robin 3. And one of them had him going up against the Joker, and the other one had him teamed up with the Huntress. But it was either one of the sequels had a hologram on each cover. There was a version with a hologram, and it was like just a sticker hologram of the Joker. And they'd stick it like in a computer screen or on something else that was drawn around it. And then the other serial miniseries had the full lenticular covers, but it was a hollow cover. It was like bent over so that it was like twice as long and then bent back. So it was full size cover with a space between the 2 pages folded. And then you had the image there, and you pulled the image up and down. And there was this clear cellophane front to it. So when you were pulling it up and down, you were making animation on the cover. Those were the only books I ever saw do that, and I don't think I ever saw another book do it again. But it was just, it was very, very strange.
I don't remember that.
But we're back to innovation. That's what I was trying to talk about here, because just talked with a printer a couple of weeks ago where they were talking about printing, spot, not spot gloss, but spot chromium on things. To where it's like, it's the regular cover, but they can print silver ink in certain places, so it's reflective. Well, and they said they can do that on the interior pages now.
What?
Yes. Yeah, it's brand new, and they've been able to do it, so they can print chromium on an interior page. So if you have something that you really want to jump out, like a blast effect, they can do it.
What printers do that, and what kind of paper do they have to use to do that?
it beats me. It's above my pay grade to know how they print. They just said, yes, we're a printer. We fulfill books. We print, for crowdfunders. And oh, by the way, we just started doing this. Like, that's going to be the next gimmick thing that people are going to do. But yeah, I mean, if you got like you want to throw some lightning, or you want to have like a magic aura of something, if you can make that thing shine off the page like that, people are going to do it. It'll probably be, very much more expensive, but it prints on not your newsprint page, but it prints on your standard comic pages now.
I'll have to look for that.
I'll link you to them after the show. I know who the printer is.
Well, I was thinking of going with API printing in Georgia.
There, I hear a lot of good things about them too. So
they did the Florida Man,
yes,
graphic novel, and I think some Earthworm Jim books and stuff like that. Not sure.
Yeah, I've got the Florida Man book, so that came out production wise. It was very, very good. Well put together book. So no complaints about API stuff. I get boxes from Mixum. They're good. I haven't received any books really that I've said, wow, they really did a crappy job putting this together. Thankfully, because they'd come back to me if they were.
Mike put me in that Florida Man book.
Oh, you're in there?
Well, the Belmont Pest Control.
Oh, okay. I have to dig that back out and look it up again. I've got a whole box of crowdfunded books, and I've got a big reading stack inside of that box that I've got to get to someday. So you're looking at launching the campaign in February. When do you think people will actually have books then?
Probably early summer.
Okay. Because, you've had 2.5 years. Come on now.
Everything is done except for like the designing of the interior, like the credits page or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Everything else is done. And then formatting it for printing, making the printer file. And that's all it needs to be done.
So all the art, all the writing, all the lettering, done. Just
done.
We have to make it bookable.
We got 2 covers for Smokes, and then just the 1 cover for Weaponized Werewolf. And I was thinking about maybe getting a sketch cover, but it depends on how it goes. But there's a Comics Wellspring that'll do a small amount of blank covers if you want them.
Yeah, you know what you need? I'm going to tell you what you need, because that's what I do. I throw out ideas. You need to take something like this cover here, where it's the Smokes and Weaponized Smokes and Cheney. Give them both their own trading card, but have it so that the 2 together make the 1 image.
You
know what I'm saying there?
So that way you can have a trading card.
This is just
way though, right? Vertically, not horizontally.
Yeah, well, no, horizontally is the way I've always seen them done. I don't have any cards, but yeah, if you just held a playing card up and put them together, one would say this is Smokes, and you look on the back and it's all about Smokes, and this is Weaponized Werewolf, and you read all about Weaponized Werewolf, and he's leaping, and you put them side by side, and they're going at each other with unified background image to make it obvious that yes, they actually are a single picture now. X-Men cool. Did this, with Fleer. Marvel did this with the X-Men Fleer cards in the 90s all the time. Only there, instead of 2 cards together, they had the 9 that made the one big picture. And when you put them all in the page, but that's a lot of cards.
Oh, the X-Men one, yeah.
But yeah, it's a thought.
I didn't do that, and I guess I didn't do my planning right.
Yeah, you could have done the same thing with the covers themselves. I mean, those are card sized. You could have had adjoining covers. That's a gimmick that people do use a lot. Even the mainstream uses that. Where you get puzzles that make a cover.
2 covers for one's a pretty good gimmick.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
A middle card. Come on.
You got a great campaign. It's just you haven't launched yet. So I'm trying to think, what else could he throw in here? And
I got some other merchandise I don't want to disclose yet, but this is not it.
I was just about to say, anything I tell you to do, don't do it, because I'm just coming up with ideas. And honestly, the simpler the campaign, the better the chances are that you'll really take off with something here. And two different books and a trading card, that's perfect. Unless you absolutely look at, it's like, yeah, but we're really going to make the money on the t-shirts.
You want me to show you some more art in some of the interiors?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, because we keep going over these same 2 images. Everybody's gonna be like, "That's it. It's only 2 shots."
Well, that's the difficult part of doing these streams when it's a sign up, is that you've got a very limited amount of art to work with. So we talk about the book, but yes, definitely let's show instead of tell as much as we can.
All right, let me share my screen here,
and I will unshare mine. I take it that the program, the military program's got a good number of hybridized human animal creatures in it.
What'd you say? I'm sorry. I was doing.
I'm guessing that the military project that's behind this has a handful of these kinds of creatures, and not all of them will probably be fox human, wolf human, but other kinds of
there's
animals.
Others. You can see them in the trailer. There's a squirrel hybrid in the trailer. You can see for a second. So they experimented with different animals to find out which one they wanted to use. But yes, there's more than one.
Very Island of Dr. Moreau. That was a good book. I wish they'd make a good movie from it. The last movie sucked.
Let me get the right.
I see it coming.
All right, here we go. So this is the cover image we've been seeing, the Gerhard cover. And this is the Barry McLean trading card. Let it get loaded up here. My computer is slow. Holy. Let me skip that then. There's Barry McLean. This is what the inside looks like to Weaponized Werewolf. This is one of the panels.
Okay.
Barry McLean's art with inks by Rodney Ramos. He's been inking for about, 3 decades at least.
Oh yeah. I get him confused with Humberto sometimes, but
yeah, he hates that. He says he's at a convention and someone will bring up a book, and they'll say Ramos on it. He's like, I can't sign that book, it's not mine. But he gets confused with Humberto, he told me. There's another panel. Going in for the kill. There's Smokes and Cheney. This was drawn by Lee Oakes, who's the interior artist for Smokes.
Yeah. Now, for some reason, I have no mental block asking. Obviously, Smokes can talk. He's wearing clothes and riding a motorcycle and all that. But what about Cheney? Is Cheney verbal?
Yeah, he doesn't say much, but he can talk.
Okay.
There's some various scenes from the book. Smokes is wearing a disguise when he's out in public.
Yeah, he doesn't look anything at all like a fox now. Looks like a Berenstain Bear.
Ever notice. Here he is riding his hog.
Cycle film. Yeah, this looks good. Please take my money.
This is Colonel Mayberry. You'll find out more when you read the book. This is a scene from the Weaponized Werewolf by Barry McLean art and Ronnie Ramos. You've probably seen this image in the... have you seen this one? No, maybe not.
No, I don't think I have. Yeah, the trailer went by so quickly too, so...
You got to watch it a couple times. And this is my favorite right here, this sunset.
Oh, nice colors.
Yeah, DC Alonso did all my interior colors for both books. He's on Star Trek doing for IDW.
Yeah.
He's also working with Marvel, I think, now. So he's a busy man. But I caught him in between jobs, and he always wanted to work on a book that Mike Barron wrote. He's a big fan of his, and he said sure. And we knocked this out in about 2 months, coloring both comics. Let's go through here. This is the Don Perlin and Bob Layton cover, colored by Gerhard. It's hard to get the whole thing on the damn screen, though.
Oh yeah. Just scroll slow, and we'll put it together in our heads.
And this is the variant cover by Gerhard.
Yeah, this is my favorite one here because this is very underground comics era. This is something like you'd expect Fritz the Cat to do, is try to take a leak and somebody's walking up on him and him giving a look like I'm peeing here.
Look at the bear's expression.
Oh yeah, the bear's like he has no idea what's going on. He's like, that fox is standing up. And of course, Smokes is looking at us. We're the ones who have intruded on him.
There's another fox right here, if you can see it.
Yeah, I do. That fox has to be really confused. Like, you smell like fox, but you don't look like fox.
Here's some interior artwork. This is Lee Oak's art.
There's one of the aliens whose technology we've been using. And probably I can just imagine, aliens like, we came here to, experiment and make hybrids out of humans and animals. And we just happen to find humans that, yeah, we're cool with that. Let's get you some humans. Just not us.
Here's Smokes in disguise. No one will ever know it's him.
Yeah. I'd love for him to walk past a strip club in the future, and there'd be like a long-haired tabby cat dancing on a pole, just for the homage aspect of it. If you're aware of the Omaha series.
Omaha? No.
Omaha the Cat Dancer was an 80s, not quite underground, but just slightly above underground. A series. It was very, very adult, and very adult. But it was a story. It was a long-running, very. It was one of those things that went to court for obscenity, and the judge said, "Nope, this is a soap opera. It just happens to be an R-rated one."
I'm not familiar with that. I remember Hep Cats. Remember that one?
Oh yeah, that was that was more drug scene one, wasn't it?
I think it was more adult. Yeah, it was more.
Yeah. Well, Fritz the Cat, of course, was super adult. He was X-rated. Omaha was like, wasn't well. Okay, it was X-rated, but it was more like Cinemax late night X-rated. She was a stripper, for crying out loud. So yeah, and she loved to dance.
Here's Smokes getting high for the first time.
Okay, that's the second animal I've seen in 2 months smoking pot.
It's a new fad.
It's a new fad. The other one was El Crudo, who was an orangutan in
I actually
Vietnam
created
War.
this character long ago, over 20 years ago. I just never got a chance to put him out.
Now, these animal-human hybrids, they were born this way in test tubes. They weren't like, I'm a former human who got experimented on, and I already know how to smoke, and I like to smoke, and I'm going to smoke again.
I can't tell you exactly how they're made, but they are made with human and alien DNA using alien technology.
Okay.
It'll kind of be like a spoiler if I told you how it happens.
We don't want to get spoiled.
But he doesn't smoke pot until he escapes the facility. They don't get him high when he's in his cage or anything.
But he was able to get his hands on a blunt.
Yeah, he found some campers, and he's heard about marijuana because he's watched TV before. But
yeah, and he's smoking it in his pipe.
After you smoke, you get hungry.
Oh
You
yeah,
can see him holding his stomach right there.
got to find a chicken coop somewhere.
We weren't even sure if the artist was able to capture him, looking stoned, but I think he was able to do it in that second to last panel there.
Yeah, the pupils just kind of get to little pinpoints. That pretty much covers it.
That was the preview for Smokes, the pages, and this is the last page I'm showing you for Smokes. This is when Cheney confronts a hunter that just shot down a poor eagle.
Oh, that's not a hunter. That's a poacher.
Now, how's he wearing an American flag hat poaching American eagles?
Yeah.
Well, that's what happened. And you can see look at his face. What the hell's going?
You just screwed up, buddy.
And here we go. So here we go. This is Weaponized Werewolf 0. The Tim Vigil, Carl Ritter cover.
I'm glad to see Tim Vigil still doing stuff. His Faust was epic.
He's got a movie coming out.
Oh my gosh. What's
the
movie
that he directed or something? It's like or something like that. He's in. It's a horror movie or it's like a low budget, but have you heard about that?
I had not heard about that. I'm going to look for it. I'd love for them to do Faust as a movie, but I'm just so afraid they'd screw it up or wouldn't do it, as to the wall as he did it.
When I originally came out with my idea to come out with a project, Smokes was the only comic that I had in mind. This werewolf was something that came out later on, and I thought that everybody else already has their campaign and their gimmick. So I said, how about I come out with 2 comic books that share the same story, so I can have 2 different artists work on them at the same time, and I can get more work done instead of expanding Smokes and making it 30 something pages or whatever. I figured I can just split them up and make 2 separate books and use that as a selling point. And then also, you get 2 books. I mean, not many people are doing that.
So, now, are you going to make both of them an ongoing?
I want to, yes.
Okay, so it's not always going to be parallel story at some point. They're in
the same universe, and the project is called Project Minotaur, and that's the secret project with the aliens and the military and the DNA experiments.
Yeah, because I can tell right now that your Smoke story and your Weaponized Werewolf story, they seem to be happening in parallel.
Yes.
And I would not be a bit surprised if the last page of each book was the same for each of the issues, to just show that this is the moment of convergence.
Well, some of the story takes place about 10 to 15 years before the other, but the timeline, both stories do go together, and it all makes sense once you read both of them. That's Colonel Mayberry right there inside the facility.
And he's going through the retinal scanner to get into. And that is a pregnant woman. And who knows what she's pregnant with, because it's probably not a human baby.
Like, you see how big he is compared to a regular guy. He's probably like 6'1". Look at how big the werewolf is compared to him. He's like, what, 7 foot something. And there you go. That's Sepoy, the alien gray right there in the bottom.
So are the humans working with the aliens or for the aliens, or both? Sometimes you think you're working with someone when you find out you're working for someone.
They're working for a mutual benefit. We don't really exactly know what they want at first with these hybrids. We find out later on when you read the story what it is that they want. But without the alien technology, none of this would be possible, because they're just way ahead of anything we have.
So as an ongoing, do you have a length for this particular story arc for both books in mind? I mean, Is this like book 1 of 4, book 1 of 6?
Probably just like a mini series for Smokes, and then maybe more mini series if there's a audience for it. I want to see how everything goes and see if people like it. See, I'm all new to this. This is my first time I've ever put out a comic book. I've collected comic books my whole life. I've always wanted to put out my own, and I went, balls to the wall on this one. I spent a lot of money and a lot of time, and I'm hoping everybody enjoys it. And I hope that it gains a following and everybody wants more. But there's a lot of competition out there. I understand that, and your dollars can only go so far, and there's a lot of stuff people want to back. But I hope they give me a chance, check out what I have.
Yeah. Okay. So you haven't written a comic book before, haven't published one before.
But this is my concept. I came up with a story idea and everything, and Mike went along with it. And, I had my input and everything. So I've been involved in every step, the creating of the characters, the concept, naming the characters.
Yeah. But, you probably had to also learn the other stuff, like, contracts, finding printers, knowing how to put a print file together that's going to work correctly. There's a lot of technical stuff that you had to pick up here.
Yeah, I just learned as I go. I'm a business owner. I'm used to working on the computer all the time, so I figured out Indiegogo pretty quickly. Wasn't really a problem. And I just started my analytics page on Google, which I've never done before. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, I got out of that real quick.
Yeah, it looked crazy at first when I logged in the first time. I was like, what the hell is this? But it's really pretty simple. They make it look really, really complicated, but it's actually pretty simple after you figure it out.
Robert Roberts, depending on which book you're looking at, Justin has done the artwork for neither one of them. If you're looking at the Fox book, it is the interior arts by Lee Oakes and Rodney Ramos. The cover is by Don Perlin and Bob Layton, unless you get the other cover, which is by Gerhard. The Weaponized Werewolf art, which is what you're looking at here, that is Barry McLean Jr. and Rodney Ramos doing the interior art with DC Alonso doing the coloring. And both books are written by Mike Barron, and he hired everybody.
I even got Kurt Hathaway to do the letters. Kurt is actually the letterer for Youngblood. The Youngblood 1, the original Youngblood from the 90s.
Going way back.
Yeah, he actually worked for Rob Liefeld at Extreme Studios. He even designed the Extreme Studios logo, I believe. He did some writing for Extreme on Rob Liefeld titles. He actually did the editing on both books. He and I created the logos. Well, we did most of the work.
I was just about to ask who did the logo since you brought that up.
Well, the Belmont Press logo was created by me and another graphic designer, but the actual logo for Weaponized Werewolf and Smokes to Fox were designed by Kurt Hathaway.
Yeah, they both look good.
He's created a lot of logos. I can't even think of all the ones, but he's mostly known for lettering Rob Liefeld's Youngblood. So I didn't cut any corners anywhere. I didn't hire some guy for $10 a page or whatever. I found the guy who was right for the job. You know what I mean? Yeah,
absolutely. And there's a lot of people out there looking for work that are capable artists, and which can meet a deadline as well, which is the other important thing. It's a talent plus time kind of combination that you got to look for. All right. Well, we're getting up here close to the top of the hour, so I just want to say, Justin, thank you for bringing both of these books to us tonight. Looking forward to the actual launch date. It'll be a lot easier to talk about, and hopefully you'll come back when it's a complete launch, so we can start, directing people to sending you money rather than just their email address. But
I hired all these artists.
Oh yeah, I didn't take the question down. He wants to know, is Belmont Press a call out to Castlevania? I think you mentioned that.
I always hear that every time I go somewhere. I go to a hotel or something. They always have some Castlevania joke or whatever it is.
Yeah, you know what? I've got to watch it apparently because I haven't, so I didn't make the connection. Watch very little anime.
What about the video game?
Oh, video game? No, my video games are like Candy Crush. I play it on my phone. That's fine. I don't have the stamina or the time. I was playing Ebony on the phone here, and basically I was doing that because Twitter kept frustrating me with all these stupid ads about pulling the rods and getting the fire in the water. Like, pull that one. So finally I just said I'll play that game, and didn't realize it was like an amass an army and build a village kind of thing with puzzles in between it. And I got tired of waking up to find out 1.5 million soldiers were dead, and it was going to take 6 days for the hospital to put them back in action. I'm like, no, I can't play this 24/7. So I deleted it.
Can you post the link to the sign up in the comments?
It's right down here, and it's at the top. It's at the top of the
can't see
chat,
it.
and it's at the description of the video. So it's
Oh, I
right.
can't see it on the StreamYard for some reason.
Oh well, yeah. It's I put the comment up before we went live, so it probably wasn't going to show on your screen. But I highlighted it there. So yeah, that link, folks. Click on it. Get over here and put your email address into there so you can sign up early and be one of the people who will get the metal trading card, right?
There's only about 90 of them.
Okay, so once you get 90 addresses, you got to pull this thing and
Yes.
and stop taking them. So
Unless I get some more, I'm hoping to get a few more if I need them.
are you going through?
There's not going to be many yet. They're expensive, and actually, the card that you have right there is made by the same guy from the Cobalt card you have.
Okay,
quality is that?
I'm trying to think who that was that did them.
The
Phoenix Animation. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Quality work. Very, very good looking card. So definitely sign up if you want to get your free card with your order when you get in here. Other than that, folks, watch for it to go live in possibly February. You'd be wasting
February
time.
8th I'm shooting for, but don't write it. I'm not writing it in stone yet because I'm going to see how it goes. I'm hoping to get 100 signups by, January or so. We'll see how it goes.
All right. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much for popping in here tonight. We do appreciate you. We don't have a show if you're not here to watch it. So we're always glad to see you out here actively participating and asking questions. And other than that, as always, while you were here, we just hope that you had a blast.